children, welcome to our English explanatory class. Children, today we are going to discuss a new grammar chapter. It is Unit 7, Interrogative Sentences. Children, you all know what are interrogative sentences. Let's look at once again. An interrogative sentence is a type of sentence that asks a question. We put a question mark at the end of an interrogative sentence. The term interrogative sentence is another name for a question. That means all questions are interrogative sentences. So let's look at how to frame interrogative sentences. To frame interrogative sentences, we have to follow some rules. These rules will help us to form correct interrogative sentences. So, rule 1. When we have sentences with helping verbs. Children, you know that there are 23 helping verbs, and helping verbs help the main verb. So, let's see how the helping verbs help to frame questions. You know that is, am, are, was, were, had, has, have, can, could. These all are helping verbs. So let's take an example. Here, I am tired. Here, I is subject, am is a helping verb, and tired is the main verb. So, how will we make the question? The rule is here, we have to bring helping verb just before the subject. That means am is the helping verb. We have to bring am before I. After that, the main verb, and since it is a question, we have to put a question mark at the end of the sentence. So, the interrogative sentence is, am I tired? Next example, Shivam and Aryan are playing. Here, Shivam and Aryan both are subject, and are is the helping verb, and playing is the main verb. So, what the rule? Rule is here, we have to bring the helping verb before the subject. That means are is the helping verb. We have to put are before the subject, that is Shivam and Aryan. After that, main verb, and at the last, the question mark. So, the question is, are Shivam and Aryan playing? Let's read some more examples of statements changed into interrogative sentences. First one, they were making a noise. Question, were they making a noise? Second one, Arpita will perform tomorrow. Question, will Arpita perform tomorrow? Third one, it is a windy day. The question, is it a windy day? Fourth one, the train will be late. Question, will the train be late? Children, these all sentences have helping verbs. Now, let's look at those sentences which don't have helping verbs. So, the second rule is to frame questions without helping verbs. Now look at these sentences. I go to gym. Ishu gave me a book. He reads fluently. In these sentences, we don't have helping verbs. We have only the main verbs. Go, gave, reads. So, children, how will we make questions when we don't have any helping verbs? We will use another helping verbs. Do, does, did. Do and does is used in present tense. Means when the sentence is talking about our present, then we will use do and does. and did is used in past tense. Those sentences which tell us about our past, that time we will use did. Children, they change according to the subject. So we have to look at the subjects also. So if our subjects like I and we, these are first person, then we will use do. You in second person and also they in third person, that time also we will use do. So if our sentences have the subjects I, we, you and they, that time we will use do. Then when will we use does? Yes, we use does with he, she, it. That means third person singular number. So children, let's take a few examples. First one is I go to gym. So here I is the subject and go is the main verb and to gym is the object. What we have already learnt, with I and we have to use do. One more thing we have to keep in our mind, that when we are using do, does and did to frame questions, we will not be using the verb form that is used in the subject. That means whatever the subject it is, if we are using do, does and did, then we have to write the root form of the verb. Like here, go is the verb and we have to use do to make question. So when we use do to frame questions, the main verb will be go. So we will use do plus go. Then our question is, do I go to gym? And don't forget to put a question mark at the end of the sentence. Let's take another example. Postman delivers letters. Here, postman is the subject and delivers is the main verb and letters is the object. So what we have read, that with he, she, it and other singular nouns, we will use does. So postman is from he group and it is also a singular noun, so we will use does here. And since delivers is the main verb and we are using does, so we are not going to write delivers. We will write its root form. Its root form is deliver. So we will use does plus deliver. Now what we have to do? We have to bring does before the subject, and subject is your postman. So our question is, does postman deliver letters? And question mark. Let's look at how to frame questions when we don't have helping verbs in past tense sentences. We use did. Did is used with I, we, you, he, she, it, they, third person singular and plural numbers. That means we don't have to look at whether it is plural or singular and whatever subject it is. If it is in past tense, then we will use did with the subject. Let's look at one example. Ishu gave me a book. Here, issue is the subject, gave is the verb and me a book is the object. What we have learned then? So, whenever there is a sentence in past, we have to use did to frame a question. One more thing we have to keep in our mind, that is when we are using did, we will be not using the main verb form that is used with the subject. Here in the question, verb gave is written, we have to use its root form, and root form of gave is give. That means we will use did plus give. How will we frame question now? We will put did before the subject. So our subject is issue. We will bring did before issue. And next we will use the root form of the verb, that is give, and the object at the end, and don't forget to put question mark. So our question is, did Ishu give me a book? Children, watch the video carefully and try to understand the rules. We will be solving the exercises in our next classes. Thank you.